Bill Maher lambasts liberals for defending trans inclusion in women's sports, praises Seth Moulton. HBO late-night host Bill Maher has sharply criticized the Democratic Party's continued defense of transgender inclusion in women's sports, calling it a political liability following the party's recent electoral losses. Maher, in his latest real-time episode, argued that the party's unwillingness to question its stance on the issue has alienated voters and made liberalism less appealing. "Stop screaming at people to get with the program and instead make a program worth getting with," Maher said, taking aim at the Democrats' handling of controversial issues. His comments were particularly focused on Representative Seth Moulton, D.M.S., who has faced backlash within his own party for opposing the inclusion of transgender athletes in women's sports. Moulton, who has 2 daughters, has publicly expressed concerns over the fairness and safety of allowing male-born athletes to compete in female sports categories. In a New York Times interview, Moulton stated, "I don't want my daughters getting run over on a playing field by a male or formerly male athlete," drawing significant criticism from some Democratic circles. Following these remarks, Moulton's campaign manager, Matt Chillick, resigned, a move Maher supported. "Let that person go. Marginalize that guy," Maher said, echoing Moulton's frustration with the party's direction on the issue. The debate has become a dividing line within the Democratic Party, as some members, including Moulton, call for a re-evaluation of policies surrounding transgender inclusion. Meanwhile, other high-profile Democrats, such as Representative Colin Allred and Senator Sherrod Brown, have distanced themselves from the issue in the wake of recent electoral setbacks. The conversation over transgender athletes in women's sports has reached a boiling point, with President-elect Donald Trump and his supporters advocating for a federal ban on transgender athletes competing in women's and girls' sports. Maher, however, suggested that the Democratic Party's continued defense of trans inclusion could cost them in future elections, urging the party to reconsider its position to regain broader voter support. On the other hand, HBO's John Oliver, a vocal advocate for trans inclusion, criticized the lack of a unified response from the Harris campaign, claiming that concerns about trans athletes' competitive advantage are exaggerated. Oliver defended the rights of transgender athletes, dismissing the notion that they pose a significant threat to fairness in sports. The controversy has sparked debates across the nation, with a recent survey showing overwhelming opposition to the participation of transgender athletes in women's sports leagues. As the debate continues to unfold, both parties are grappling with how to address this polarizing issue in an election year.